Good. Hi guys, welcome on to Fight for People. My name is Grant Goes, and this is the online platform that helps you understand more about health, fitness and sports. Today we're talking about insurance. Do you have the right insurance? Do you have the proper insurance? Do you know about insurance? And today I'm joined by Ramzi from Petra Insurance, who's going to help us understand everything there is to know about insurance. So first of all, welcome along.
Thanks for having me. Mate. Thanks a lot, appreciate it.
No worries, mate. Guys, first thing first, of course, you're going to have questions, you're going to have comments, you might have your own feedback. Please chuck them in the comment section down below. Ramzi, let's move on to you, my man.
Sure.
Let's first of all, let's get a bit of background about yourself, about here in the country, what you do, a bit more about Petra.
Sounds good. So I am the managing partner at Petra Insurance Brokers. Mm-hmm. It's a company that's been in the UAE since 1966. So we're talking 53 years.
Wow, yeah.
It's a family business. I'm the second generation family. My father established it back in the day before oil and all that stuff. Yeah. So I'm a marketing guy. Mm-hmm. Naturally, this is my thing.
There's education.
Yeah, and then to get into the business, I had to learn a lot about insurance technically. I didn't want to get into it because I wanted to do my own thing. Mm-hmm. But I knew one thing, that it is an important aspect of life. Yeah. So I learned about it and I liked it, and it's extremely interesting and a lot of fun on a daily basis. There's a lot of interesting stories. Let's put it that way.
Right, totally.
So I've been in the business now for 8 years.
Yeah, cool.
As of Thursday, 8 years. So.
Oh wow! Hey, congratulations! A bit of a milestone.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Okay, so that's awesome, and we want to get into insurance because this is obviously fitness. Let's talk about insurance and fitness, because I don't want to say it's new, but it's definitely something that's always a talking point within the fitness industry, because people are not sure what insurance they need or why they need insurance. Let's go back to first of all the use of insurance for the fitness professional. Okay. Yeah.
There's different types of uses for. There's different types of insurance products that you can have. One is just a simple public liability insurance. So if you have a gym, you own a gym. If you're a one-person gym or 30-person gym, whatever it is, there's clients that come to your gym, of course, and anything can happen. Yeah. You might be cleaning the floor, and then they slip, they fall, and you're liable for that, for the damage done, either medical damage or physical damage, even if they break their phone. That's there. There's other types of insurance as well when they're training. It's not that common here to get, but it's possible. Or we can get it at least. Where if you're training through doing, deadlifts, and you get injured while training, that's also available as well, which I highly recommend getting as well, at least looking into. Yeah. The next level is something called professional indemnity insurance. Training professionals, especially personal trainers, provide advice. And just like lawyers give advice or architects provide their drawings, trainers provide their own advice or their own architecture of how to...
It's a cool way to put it.
Exactly. So if the trainer is providing the wrong advice or the wrong type of training that could lead to some sort of damage medically or whatever, there is insurance called professional indemnity insurance. Now, it is not as easy to get as the others, but it's available. Okay. Especially now the market has changed in the UAE. So it's become a bit more sophisticated. Licensing, there's recently, through VirtuZone, VirtuFit, there's a licensing for a one-person trainer, if you will, and they can get a license. With a license, you can get insurance. Okay. Whereas before, it was a bit more difficult to get. It wasn't as sophisticated.
Okay. Let's talk UAE, because obviously a lot of the audience is here from UAE. So there's three types of insurance to start off with. What are you seeing as far as like fitness professionals being insured to start with as well? Are they grabbing, which option are they grabbing?
Well, first things
and
first,
why, maybe?
They ask for professional indemnity insurance because I think there's a lot of trainers from Europe here and from Canada, US. And they've been exposed to insurance, especially from the UK. UK is the hub of insurance, right? But the difference is over there to here is, like, for example, the cost and the rules over there is a bit more, is a bit simpler than here. You know, so we get a lot of inquiries, and then they see the price. I don't believe it's expensive, but in comparison to what it is over there, the scope is a lot lighter than it is here. So it's a lot cheaper, if you will, over there. So when they see the costs, they get kind of worried about, which is understandable. Then there's the next level, which is public liability, which, in my opinion, is the minimal you can get It's the basic, and it's not expensive at all. So that's what they inquire about mostly. That's what they end up getting.
And why would that be?
What?
Why would they go for that option? I mean,
at least you're covered for something, right? So I think it's psychology of it as well. So peace of mind. So at least you're covered for something.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. But I do believe the onus is on the trainer or the gym to at least look at all options in risk management. First of all, before insurance, is your gym running in the right way? Yeah. You have the right trainers on board. Like, are you just hiring anybody, or are you vetting in out in the right way? That's the first step, and then you get insurance. So that's how it is. I think it's just a matter of peace of mind, that you are doing something for the business, that you're protecting.
Totally. Well, so when it comes to public liability, what kind of things are covered under the scope?
Well, public liability is like I said earlier. So whatever you don't own yourself that you create damage on, that's covered. So.
So you're talking about the people?
People as well, people as well. Like, what does insurance cover? It covers mostly, or it covers material damage, which is any kind of financial damage. So medically speaking, if somebody gets injured, there's medical costs. Now, sure, they might have their own health insurance, but the insurance company will still pay their client their money, but they need to go after somebody to collect their money, because somebody's held liable always. Which is why insurance is important. Where if everybody's insured, the insurance companies take care of everything. And if you're not insuring yourself, somebody's got to pay the bill. If you will. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah, totally comes back to that. And then, because I know there's a lot of trainers out there and fitness professionals that are very confused with insurance.
Of course.
Yeah, totally. And so, in my understanding, the indemnity liability insurance, the insurance there is the most prominent, because it covers everything. But I mean, does it ever cover everything? Does it? Well,
nothing covers everything. Right. So it's like anywhere. If you buy a car, it doesn't give you everything.
Yeah, give you a new Ferrari.
Even we're talking. This is the thing. A lot of people that buy insurance, that don't want to read the details, and I don't blame them. It's tedious. We're talking about documents this big, which is why you come to brokers like us to read those details on your behalf. What we ask you is, what are you looking for in terms of insurance? What are your main concerns? You might say, I've had this one issue back in the day, this happened, will this be covered? That specific question is important, because you don't care about the mumbo jumbo of the legal stuff. You care about whether it's you put it on the broker, is this covered? Like a specific scenario. And that's where we come in, and we people like us, that's our job, is to take away that pain, if you will. So so to answer your question, not everything is covered, but what is covered is any kind of negligent advice, not on purpose. You meant good. It just didn't quite work out and led to some sort of injury.
Which can happen.
Which happens, right?
Yeah, totally.
And like, there's a lot of lawyers out there, as an example, like trainers and lawyers, the same thing. They give advice, and maybe that advice, and I'm going to say it very in plain terms, sucked. That's what you're insuring.
Totally.
But not negligent on purpose. That's the difference. And of course, with these things, there's courts, there's legal proceedings, and that's what the insurance also covers.
Covers those things, those kind of costs as well.
Because and plus your legal costs, the lawyer. We're talking about the whole picture.
And is that in limited liability, public liability, or indemnity?
Professional indemnity. That and also public liability, because usually the public liability and or also named third-party liability. Usually, if there's any issues, it goes to court. There's a police report. Especially if there's money being exchanged. If you're claiming against somebody, claiming what? So you have to go through the right process, which is through the police. So if you have a claim in your car insurance here, either you go through the app now, the police app. Or you call the cops, basically, to come in and say who's at fault. Then the insurance starts working. The same thing with this
side of it as well. Guys, we're talking about insurance, and are you properly covered for insurance? Do you understand insurance and what's involved? So if you've got any comments, any questions, please put them in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer those ones. Let's go through some scenarios, I think, to make it a lot clearer for professionals what to do. So what are some scenarios? Let's say a common one something can happen is someone has a heart attack on the treadmill. Let's say let's say let's go two scenarios, because one is the trainer, one is the company.
That's interesting. Okay, so the heart attack on a treadmill. Okay, so So the first question is, what exactly happened? Why is there a heart attack on a treadmill? Like, is it due to their own pre-existing conditions?
Yeah.
Should they even be on a treadmill to begin with? That could be completely isolated. It could be driving a car.
Yeah.
You know, so
Totally.
that needs to be determined first. So that sometimes it's not even blamed. You can't blame the gym or whatever. It's just a medical condition.
Yeah, something happened. Yeah.
And that can be easily determined, of course. Now, I do believe there are waiver forms in gyms, but you know, how in depth is it?
Yeah, totally.
But it's there to protect you legally.
Totally.
However, there's sometimes it's not gonna, you won't find the whole truth behind those, and maybe even your client who's at the gym doesn't know their full health condition. These things happen out of the blue.
Yeah, totally.
So when it happens, and it's basically not the gym's fault, which the family of that member of the person who had a heart attack may claim against the gym, and then it becomes a whole legal thing.
Sort of
and then the gym's like, what's my, we hope he gets better or she gets better, but what's my problem? Still, when there's a claim against you, there's a process.
Yeah.
And that's where insurance also kicks in.
Yeah.
When there's a claim, like you tell the insurance company or the broker there's a potential claim, and then they guide you on what the right thing is. And if it is deemed your fault or whatever, and it's within the policy conditions, which would be covered depending on what you paid for, then
you find it covered. And that's the main thing. That's insurance, right?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. If the heart attack was deemed because of excessive, there's a personal trainer and they're making that particular person pushing harder than they need to.
Yeah.
Now we're talking where the professional indemnity comes in.
Okay, so it changes again.
Yeah, and that's more of a serious thing, and the onus is on the trainer to kind of,
Well, it's quite a common thing for trainers to just push or beast, as they say.
Beast mode,
they turn a beast and they just push them as hard as they possibly can.
We'll call it beast mode insurance. How's that?
That sounds good to me. Okay, so that's one scenario. It's probably another very more common scenario that could happen is dropping weights and lands on the client, causes an injury.
Yeah, that's a more of a straightforward situation because just like you drop weights or drop anything on anyone, that's also third-party liability.
Yep.
So that would be more straightforward. If there causes some kind of medical, let's say that breaks their foot or breaks their toe, that costs about 5,000, let's say, in injury, in medical costs, that would be covered under third-party liability.
Okay, and they cover under the trainer's insurance, not the client's, or?
Well, the client again would have to activate their own, probably because it's quicker. But then the insurance company will deal with whoever they need to deal with.
They deal with things like that. What about the difference between if the client happened to just be on a machine or had a dumbbell or barbell in their hand and it dropped on themselves, compared to if the trainer was holding the dumbbell or barbell and it dropped?
That's a great area. Okay, so that's a very good question, and that's where there is an extension in the third-party liability or the public liability, if you will, where if they are damaging, if they're causing damage while training, because usually that's excluded. Okay. Considered high risk. Believe it or not.
Sorry, can you repeat that again? Sorry, just to repeat that again so I understand.
So usually it's excluded while you're training or while the person's training, and then some sort of damage. So let's say they're doing a bench press and they didn't load the right weights on, and then there's an imbalance in the weight. That happens. I've seen it a lot.
Yeah.
And then it damages somebody else or damages themselves. That is usually excluded, and that's something that you guys should all look out for in every policy. However,
that's excluded from all three policies you're talking about, or
we're talking about the public liability one. There's an extension. There's two extensions. There's one extension where while you're training, it's called extension. So the basic one is liability insurance, where if somebody slips and falls, like in any other place, either the gym or the office, they slip and fall. That's very basic.
Yeah.
We encourage the gyms to look into, and training professionals to look into while the customers or the clients are actually training. Okay. Because that's where the real danger is.
Yeah, totally.
The good thing is we've covered many gyms in the UAE for 5 years where there is that extension, and it's a bit more of a cost, but it's not worth. It's worth it. Yeah. It's not worth the worry about what will happen, because that's where the real problem is.
Well, training when you're training during the exercise,
so it is available, but I've seen a lot of advice in the market, and I've seen, because I see clients coming to us and this is their policy and it's a completely basic policy. Like, it could be anybody, it doesn't have to be a gym, anybody can take this policy, but the key is what is the right advice. Even if it costs 20% more, at least you're covered.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah.
And so that's what there is that extension. The other extension is, let's say you're doing you're in a gym, but you have, I don't know, some kind of event outside of your gym.
Let's say a fitness competition's going on.
Fitness competition.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, people don't get insurance for that, or they fail to use their current policy, which can be extended anywhere. So let's say you have a gym in JLT, but your event is in Safa Park.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You need to get insurance over there, and you can't just assume that that policy is going to be covered over there. There's an extension
required for that event outside, they're held outside. Yeah.
And usually those places, they require insurance, so people scramble, oh, we need insurance like last minute, like on a Thursday at 9 p.m.
before it gets underway. What about, so let's say you have a fitness competition inside your facility.
Yeah.
Obviously the facility should be covered itself.
Of course,
insurance
that's
and
the
stuff
first
like
step,
that.
as a foundation.
Yeah, and it covers, I'm just asking the question, it covers everybody that comes into that and participates or whether views that competition. Because there's two sides of it for me. One is the people who are competing and actually exercising, and when people are watching these exercises go on, I mean, there's people very close to athletes as well, and there's a possibility where weight's going for a win.
Fantastic question. So look at it. First of all, the liability would cover both, but on different levels.
Okay.
So spectators would be covered if there's damage. See, even if the actual event organizers are not the cause, but they're the ones creating the event, they're responsible. So whatever happens, they're responsible.
Yeah.
You know, it's their job to make sure that everything is set up, it's not overcrowded, there's the right barriers in place, and so forth. Just like it's their responsibility that the rig is up properly, or the benches are not
the boulder down,
80
the boulder
years old. You know, exactly.
Totally.
Where it's the same responsibility. So that the liability insurance would be covered under that. And also, I would encourage professionals or competitors that are going to an event not to take it for granted.
Yeah.
Because if an injury happens, you don't have the proper medical insurance, which happens. People not necessarily take the best insurance always. They need to make sure at least this event is, at least from a risk perspective, they've done the right due diligence and they have the right insurance, because that's something that people forget about. Yeah,
totally. It's quite interesting, that one about, clubs holding events outside of their facilities, and are they insured in that facility itself?
And also the gyms and these event organizers, they get confused. They think that if they were in another venue, that venue covers them. Maybe if you've agreed on it in writing.
Yeah, okay.
Right? But you can't assume that.
Yeah, totally.
Because the venue is their job is only to cover their events.
Yeah, 100%.
They could extend it, which happens a lot, but that needs to be discussed. You can't just assume, okay, I'm in this event, I'm in this venue now, so therefore it's covered. No, usually the venue says, if it's one of those big venues, they say, listen, you need to get insurance this much to even do an event in our place.
Yeah, totally.
And then usually people get pissed off about that, but they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, they're doing. Hey, so, okay, I think probably most guys, again, if you've got any comments, questions, if you've got scenarios yourself that you'd like to put out there, please put them forward and we can discuss those scenarios as well. When it comes to scenarios, obviously, there's going to be very specific areas, and there's a lot more details required. You can't just make up too many scenarios, right? But let's say you come across a situation where you do need to be claiming, or what's the process when it comes to, okay, there's an injury that's happened. What's the process to start going through to, well, one, to cover yourself as a trainer, and two, to make sure that you go through the right process?
Well, I have that. We've had that experience in a without naming any names, of course, confidentiality, but in a CrossFit box. And it was a very well run. It is a very well run CrossFit box. I gotta tell you, they're very professional and did the right things. But it happens. Some person was doing deadlifts. Beast mode style.
So, yeah.
I was there with them actually. It's funny. I was actually training with them, and I'm like, well, I was thinking, well, why is this guy going super heavy? And it just didn't make sense. It's just
ego with the guy. Ego.
It happens, and this is the problem with, you kind of rev each other up. Like you just kind of. So I think he didn't do the right stretch. It was like on a Friday morning, and his lower back just
blew out. Yeah.
And the trainers were there, and I cannot say that it was the trainer's fault, because you kind of, this person has been going to the gym. I've been working out with this particular person. I've seen him around at least for about a year. So at that point, they've done their training. It happens.
Gone through the process. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And then the ambulance, they call the ambulance, and they use their medical insurance. And if the client wanted to claim, so I was there, so they're like, what do we do? I'm like, well, let's just wait and see what the situation is. You know? And the first thing is their client healthy or is there something wrong? They went to the hospital, they checked up on him, and it was a small like lower back strain. And it was properly done. His insurance covered it. But if he wanted to claim against the box, the gym itself, he had every right to claim that. But he didn't. And it was just because it probably wasn't worth it for him. But what happens when there's a claim? Let's say if I wasn't there, you notify the broker, if you have a broker, that this is what happened. Please advise on next steps. And then we tell you what the next steps are. Usually is like do your best to not cause any more damage, whatever that is. And then let us know if any communication like that. So then because our job is to protect our client. You know, and that's the and then from that the process takes over.
Go from there. Interesting. So first step is just simply get help. What if you don't have a broker?
Well, there's insurance companies, and with all the respect to my insurance company partners, you know, they represent themselves, right? And that's fine. That's what their job is. Broker's job is to represent the client, not the insurance company. For example, we have agreements with almost, I think, about 50 insurance companies in the UAE. So we have different arrangements, you know. And then we pick the best options, not based on price only, but based on when there's a time of claim. So sometimes it's good to pay an extra 20% when you know that the claim is a bit better, because we know the market. Sometimes the claims are handled by other companies better than others. That's just the way it is. So if you don't have a broker, you have an insurance company only, you have to go to the insurance company. But I strongly recommend having a broker on board. There's no extra cost to you. This is the big misconception, is that people think with the broker there's an extra whatever percent. No. There's nothing there. The price, if you go to the same insurance company or through the broker, it's the same cost. If anything, we can maybe provide a better offer because we can negotiate. I'm just saying. And that's the one advantage. The other advantage is we work on behalf of the client, not the insurance company. We're partners with the insurance company, and we do the right things. We don't want the insurance company to also lose. We're with them. But our main job is for the client itself, of course.
Fantastic.
As long as it's done in the right way and it's illegal from all sides, that's what the definition of broker is.
So is cool, awesome. Guys, talking about insurance, are you correctly covered? Make sure, because it is very important, and it's mostly for that what if. That moment. I mean, everyone says, I'll be fine, it'll be all right. And then when they what if happen moments, that's when everything.
And one thing very important, sorry to cut you off, people don't think about insurance until something happens. Right? And when it happens, the cost always goes up. So for me, it doesn't make sense to hold off on it. At least, I advise just at least get a quote. See the cost. And then go from there. You know, there's no obligation. Like if you were to ask us for quotations, we would not charge you for that. So we would provide the quotes, different options. You know, as we would appreciate it that it's a legitimate request. You know, so we don't. I mean, there's no such thing as waste of time, but it is a waste of time when you know for sure you're not going to get it. But if you're interested in seeing what's out there, we're happy to help.
Totally.
And then make a decision accordingly.
Cool, awesome. Guys, if you have any comments, any questions, please chuck them in the comment section below. But I want to ask you from an insurance perspective for the fitness industry, what are some of the main points, or are there other points from your side that fitness professionals or fitness facilities should be looking out for as far as their insurance?
I think we covered most of it. I think the first thing is make sure you have the right, you know, if you want to go to the next level, don't forget you're investing a lot of money. You're not a local. Usually you're probably an expat, so you're coming from abroad. So you've kind of uprooted your life somewhere to have some sort of success, lifestyle and financial, you know, which is fine. So you need to be able to cover yourself with everything. So you come in, you open up a gym or whatever it is, and you buy equipment.
Yep.
Right? And that's property that you've owned, that you own. So have you covered that? Have you covered that? Because there's a lot of, we've heard about the fires here. We've heard about the pipe being, AC pipe burst, which could damage
equipment and stuff like that, yeah.
Right? So there's insurance that I recommend for all fitness professionals that is not on the liability side, on the property side. If anything were to happen to your property, whereas an equipment is damaged from fire or flood or whatever you want to call it, at least it's covered. It could be accidental damage from the client themselves, right? Happens.
Yeah, totally.
So what about the investment you've done? So why would you pay that out of pocket? So I recommend property insurance for the gym professional. And there's an extension, something called business interruption.
Okay.
So imagine you can't run your business because of a fire. What happens to your rent? They don't take back the rent. You still pay the rent.
Still paying rent.
There's the property insurance with the extension of business interruption. It covers for interruption of the business.
Oh, there you go.
So these costs, you might have to pay salaries and so forth.
Yeah.
That to me is very valuable and very important to look into.
Oh, so you didn't know that existed.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so there you go.
There you go. So that's something that we talk about professional indemnity and liability. It's important, but the chances of that happening is there. But the property damage is a lot more common.
Yeah.
So
totally.
we forget about that.
Totally. So you got to pay attention to those kind of things.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time and helping us understand the insurance and all that. Guys, if you have any more questions for Ramzi, please get a hold of him. We'll put the details in the section below, the description details below. If you comments questions, please put them in the comments itself. But thank you again for following Fine Fit People. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button if you like this video, or check us out on social media with the handle Fine Fit People. Till next time, guys, take care, and we'll see you then.